So now we will be continuing our lesson. Dito na tayo sa module 4, methods of focusing. Actually, this is only lesson 1. Okay. So, you were able to familiarize with this already. Ito yung mechanism sa loob ng isang SLR, or single lens reflex camera. Yung meron siyang mirror dito na kung saan ito yung humaharang, sabihin na natin, humaharang para makarating ang light doon sa ating film. Kasi kapag kinlik mo na yung shutter, bababa ito, magbe-bend down siya, mag-open yung shutter, then yung light ay dedirekta na doon sa film. The purpose of this mirror is also to bounce light or to reflect light dito sa ating pentaprism, and that's what you are able to see in your viewfinder. Although ngayon, may mga mirrorless camera na kung saan direkta na yung light doon sa camera sensor. But still, we have to know what or how this mechanism is used. Okay, focusing. So it is the process of changing the distance between the centers of the lens to the focal plane. It is the technique of adjusting the focal length to get the sharp image of the object or scene to be photographed. Reviewin natin yung mga terms na yan. Focal plane, focal length, and even the focal point. Okay, focal length is the distance between the focal point of a lens and the film plane when the lens is focused at infinity. So, this is your focal point. This is your focal plane. Okay, ito. Yung layo nila sa isa't isa ay ang tinatawag natin na focal length. The distance between the focal point and the film plane. That is your focal length. So ano naman yung focal plane? It is the area inside any camera where the individual frame of film or digital sensor is positioned during exposure, kung saan daw nakalagay yung parte ng camera na responsible for recording the image. It's your film or your digital sensor. Okay, so ito yon kung saan nagre-record ng image. And then, the focal point is the central or principal point of focus. Ito yung parte ng camera kung saan didirect niya yung focus. At ang resulta nun, ito nga. Being able to focus a certain image or a certain part of an image. Katulad dito sa picture na to, ang nakafocus lang is this flower. But yung background niya is blurred. Okay? Focal point is the optical center of a lens when it is focused on infinity. Okay. Ano ba yung infinity na tinutukoy? Ito yun. Yan, yung parang letter 8 sign. This refers to the distance so far removed from the observer that the rays of light reflected to a lens from a point at the distance may be regarded as parallel. It is a distance setting on a camera focusing scale beyond which all objects are in focus. In short, kapag nakaset sa infinity yung settings mo for focus, ibig sabihin buong image ay nakafocus. Walang parteng blurred. Balikan natin tong picture na to. Etong image na to is not set at infinity. Kasi, ang naka-focus lang ay yung foreground. Etong flower lang. Then, the background is blurred. But, if you use the focusing setting na infinity, pati itong background niya, naka-focus din. Malinaw din. Okay? Okay. Then, this is real focus, the point of convergence of the light rays. Kung maalala ninyo yung topic natin sa lens, meron tayong converging lens and diverging lens. Sa converging lens, pinagtatagpo yung mga light rays sa isang point. Kaya meron siyang focal point or focus. Kaya, ang translation nun sa image is that merong parte ng image na nakafocus. Yun yung real focus. Ito, 'di ba dito yung bata ang nakafocus, dito yung mag-asawa din ang nakafocus. Then we also have virtual focus. Ito yung epekto ng diverging lens, the point where diverging rays would meet if their direction were reversed. Ibig sabihin, hindi talaga siya focused. Kaya nga virtual lang, hindi siya real. Okay? Makikita mo na may mga objects. Alam natin ito na itong grocery store. Pero hindi natin alam, hindi natin mabasa yung mga label na nandito sa mga drinks, di ba? Pati yung mga items na nandito, hindi rin natin makilala. Alam lang natin, nandyan sila. Kasi nga, hindi focused. Hindi siya real focus, virtual focus lang siya. Okay. Depth of focus is a zone of focus in the camera. If an image is focused on a ground glass screen in a camera, depth of focus makes it possible to move the screen slightly backward or forward and still have the image in acceptable focus. That is depth of focus. Iba yun sa depth of field. Pag sinabi namang depth of field, is the amount of area in focus doon sa image. It is the distance from the nearest object in good focus to the farthest object in good focus. For example, in this image, ang depth of field ay hanggang dun sa dulo. Kasi walang parte ng image na blurred. Buong image malinaw siya. But here, in this image, the depth of field is only up to here. Bakit? Kasi eto lang yung parte na focus. Etong nasa background ay out of focus na or blurred na siya. Okay. So, ano yung difference between depth of focus and depth of field? In simple words, si depth of focus, sa loob siya ng camera. Then, depth of field is yung translation outside of the camera. Ito na yung pagkuha natin ng image. Yung parte na focus doon sa image na yon. Eto. So, these are several examples ng depth of field. So, dito sa image na to, ang nakafocus lang ito. So, this is only your depth of field range. Then, dito naman sa image na to, ito lang yung nakafocus. Kasi yung dito, blurred. Dito, blurred din. Same as with this. But in this image, yung buong image na ang nakafocus. This may be done by having your focusing setting nasa infinity. Ayun. Okay. So, depth of field is increased by shorter focal length lens, by smaller lens aperture, ibig sabihin kapag mas maliit yung aperture mo, and greater subject distance kapag malawak ang kukuhanan mo ng image. Mas mataas ang depth of field nun. Okay? Paano naman siya nababawasan or how is depth of field decreased? Longer focal length lens, larger lens aperture, ibig sabihin, mas madaming light ang makakapasok, bumababa ang depth of field doon. And shorter subject distance, kapag mas malapitan. Sa mga camera settings ngayon, or mga cameras ngayon na nasa cellphone, napapansin ko yan na kapag mas malapit, mas nagfo-focus lang siya doon sa subject mo. Kung tao yan, parang yung iba, automatic biniblur na yung background. But, kung ang kukuhanan mo ay sabihin nating bundok, o syempre malayo ka doon, di ba? Kukuhanan mo yung buong landscape ng bundok, wala siyang part na magiging blurred. Kasi nga, greater subject distance, depth of field is increased. Pero kapag mas malapit, mas nababawasan ang depth of field. Okay. So, what is the difference between depth of field and depth of focus? So, depth of field is the area in front of the lens. Yun na nga yung nabanggit natin kanina, outside of the camera. So, in front of the lens. In acceptable focus, wherein depth of focus refers to the zone behind the lens. Ibig sabihin, yung nasa loob ng camera. Kasi diba, ito yung camera, dito yung lens. So, yung nandito sa part na to, doon mo makikita yung, or doon mo masiset yung depth of focus. Wherein the film plane or sensor is placed to produce an in-focused image. Ayun. O ulit ha. Depth of field is outside the camera. Depth of focus is inside the camera. Depth of field is in front of the lens. Depth of focus is behind the lens. Okay. So dito, these are examples of little or shallow depth of field. Pag sinabing shallow, nasa ibabaw lang. Katulad nito, ang nakafocus lang is this part. Then all the other part of the image is already blurred. Ganun din dito. Ang nakafocus lang, ito. Then this part is already blurred. Kaya ang depth of field niya, shallow lang kasi nasa harapan lang. Mababaw lang. Okay. This one are samples of greater or deep depth of field. 'Di ba? Sabi nga kanina, the greater the distance, the depth of field is also greater or is increased. Katulad nito, yung buong part ng image is in focus. Walang part na blurred. Siyempre, maliit na lang yung nasa dulo, pero hindi siya blurred. Ganun din dito. Walang part na blurred. Okay, kaya ang depth of field niya is great kasi hanggang sa dulo, malinaw siya. Okay. So, this one is shallow depth of field. This one is shallow. This one is also shallow. This one is also shallow. Blurred ito eh. But this one is deep. Deep depth of field. Okay. Kung mapapansin ninyo, magkakaiba yung position nila. Dito, yung kotse mukhang malapit. Pero dito, malayo. Dito, mukhang malapit yung kotse. Diba? But still, when we talk of depth of field, it is the amount of the image that is in great focus. So dito, sa apat na image na to, ito lang ang naka-focus or ang naka-deep depth of field. Okay? Next, in types of focus, there are two types of lenses. So today, we have autofocus and manual focus lenses. We already discussed this last time. So when we talk of autofocus lenses, this is the predominant type of lenses in the market. That means ito na yung majority na meron sa market. Ito na yung tinitinda talaga ngayon. It focuses using a phase detection system that slits the incoming light into two or more parts and compares them to determine the amount of defocus. Ito yon, yung mga red squares na ito. Ibig sabihin, yan yung part ng image na kung saan nagfo-focus yung lens mo. Kung mapapansin ninyo, ito lang. Itong animal lang ang naka-focus, but then the background is blurred. Ayun. Okay. Then manual lenses, you use it by turning the focusing ring by hand until the subject is sharp in the viewfinder. Kaya nga siya manual, di ba? Kasi manual mo siyang iikutin. Ikaw ang maghahanap ng focus. Hindi katulad sa autofocus, yung camera ang mag-set ng focus para sa'yo. Okay. Then we have focal length. This is the distance between the lens and the film plane when the lens is focused on infinity. And it also controls magnification. Alam niyo na to, focal length is the distance between the lens or the focal point up to the film plane or the sensor. Yan, ulit-ulit lang. Ayan na, focal length. Ito yung sensor. Then this is the part where andun yung focal point. Ayun. Next is parallax. This is a term used to describe the difference between the image as seen by a viewing system and the image as recorded by the sensor. Variance occurs as subjects move closer to the lens only through the lens viewing systems avoid parallax error. So when we say parallax error, kung maalala ninyo yung mechanism for SLRs, andito yung lens, yung viewfinder nandito. Kaya yung may mirror dito at meron ding mirror dito. Nagkakaroon ng parallax error kapag may problem doon sa mirrors. Kasi ang nare-record ng lens, katulad nito, eto. Kita nyo ba? Yung kulay blue. Yung katawan lang. Pero ang nakikita mo sa viewfinder is yung ulo hanggang bewang niya at hindi nare-record yung paa. So kung ano yung nakikita mo ay hindi nare-record ng camera kapag may parallax error. Kasi nga, again, dito sa image na to, ang nakikita ang nakikita mo sa viewfinder is from the head up to the hips. But then what the camera sees or what the camera records is from the neck below hanggang sa may binti. Yan ang parallax error kapag may problem nga dito sa yung viewing system. Okay? Next is shutter. It is a mechanism that opens and closes within the camera to provide the time interval necessary for exposure. Siya daw ang responsible na parte ng camera kung gaano katagal papasok ang light doon sa camera. Okay. Yung shutter speed naman is expressed as whole numbers in the shutter speed dial. This is the shutter speed dial. Ito. But it is actually fractions of a second. Hindi porket meron dyang 500. Hindi ibig sabihin nun 500 seconds. Hindi, fraction of a second lang yan. Ibig sabihin 1/500. Imagine ninyo, merong pizza. Hinati natin sa 8 yung isang pizza. Tapos meron tayong isa pang pizza. Hinati natin sa 1,000. Tapos kumuha tayo ng tig-isang piraso lang mula dun sa dalawang pizza. Alin yung mas mabilis maubos? Siyempre yung sa 1,000, di ba? Bakit? Kasi siyempre kung may pizza ka, hinati mo ng 1,000, edi ang liit-liit na lang nun. Kaya pag kinuha mo, mabilis mo siyang mako-consume. Unlike dun sa pizza na hinati mo lang sa 8, medyo matatagalan ka pa bago maubos yon. Ganun yung shutter speed, okay? Ibig sabihin, the higher the number, it means it is faster. Mas mabilis nag-o-open ang shutter mo. Okay? Kaya, meron dito na ang setting niya is 1. Ibig sabihin, 1 whole second yon. Mas matagal kumpara dito sa mga ito. Ibig sabihin, kapag mabilis ang shutter speed, gagamitin mo yon kapag maliwanag. Kasi maliwanag na nga, di ba? Konti na lang ang light na kailangan mo. Kaya dapat mabilis ang shutter speed. Kapag madilim naman, kailangan mo ng mas madaming light. Therefore, ang gagawin mo, lalakihan mo yung aperture and babagalan mo yung shutter speed para mas madaming light ang pumasok doon sa ating film. Ayan. So aside from controlling the amount of time, the shutter also controls motion or action or the ability to freeze action. So kung itong pinwheel ay tuloy-tuloy na umiikot, kapag mabilis ang shutter speed, eto ang magiging itsura niya. Kasi nga, na-freeze niya, di ba? Dahil sobrang bilis niya nga mag-record. Pero eto, kapag mabagal ang shutter speed mo, hindi mo mare-record ng parang nakastop yung isang moving object. Kasi nga, isang buong second ka or matagal kang nagre-record. So, lahat ng nangyari, sabihin natin nag-set ka ng 1 second para mag-record or nag-set ka ng 1 second as your shutter speed. So, lahat ng nangyari in that 1 second ay ni-record mo. Kaya, ganito siya. Nagmumukha siyang moving pa rin. Pero kung fraction of a second lang, ibig sabihin, konting-konting parte lang ng segundo, millisecond lang, marirecord mo ng ganito. Okay? So, slow shutter speeds are basically used for low light. Kapag mabagal ang shutter speed, ginagamit kapag madilim. Fast shutter speeds are used in bright lighting conditions. Kasi nga, pag maliwanag na, konting liwanag na lang talaga ang kailangan mo para makapag-record doon sa film. Para hindi siya maging overexposed. Kaya dapat mabilis din ang shutter speed mo. Maliit yung aperture, tapos mabilis yung shutter speed. So you have to control both the shutter speed and the lens opening or the aperture to achieve correct exposure. Katulad nitong nasa pictures na to. Ito, ang setting niya is 1/60. Ang nangyari, overexposed. Dito, 1/250. Sakto lang. Ito yung tama. And then here, 1/1000. So, ang nangyari, naging madilim. Ayun. Okay, kaya, kailangan alam mo kung ano yung sunlight na meron ka when taking photographs kung outdoors. And kapag indoors naman, kailangan alam mo yung tamang setting din ng available light. Kung katulad nito, merong fluorescent light or whatever na andun sa lugar kung saan ka kumukuha ng pictures. Okay. Next is exposure. So when we say exposure, it is, by the way, this is already lesson 2, exposure. So exposure is subjecting the light-sensitive material to light in order to form an image, initially a latent image. So yung sinasabi dito na sensitive material or light-sensitive material ay yung iyong film. Okay. This involves controlling the right amount of light and time to achieve correct exposure. Pag sinabi nating exposure, ito yung pag-expose natin doon sa film sa light. Yung film, binibigyan na natin ng light. That's exposure. Okay. So the product of illumination and time is exposure. Pag sinabing product, resulta. Illumination is light and then time. Kaya nga meron tayong shutter speed, di ba? Yun yung responsible for how much time is given to the light to be able to enter the camera and to record in the film. So the unit of exposure is usually in meter candles second. Etong product na to is also described as the result of multiplication, di ba? Kaya, illumination times time is equals to exposure. Yun. May mathematical computation din dyan, pero hindi na natin i-discuss yun. So, this is equivalent to exposure produced by a light source of 1 candle power. And the second, at a distance of 1 meter from the surface of the sensitive material. So, when light is brought in its focus by the camera lens and strikes the front surface of the film emulsion, a number of tiny crystals of light-sensitive silver halide rendered developable, forming later the image, is known as the latent photographic image. Sa madaling sabi, kapag kumuha ka kasi ng picture gamit yung film, hindi naman agad-agad makikita mo na yung image na nandun sa film. Kasi nga, kailangan pa natin siyang i-develop bago mo siya makita. Pero yung image na nandoon sa film, we call that latent photographic image. Makikita mo lang siya kapag na-develop mo na siya. Parang sa fingerprint. Fingerprint, makikita mo, sabihin na natin, hinawakan mo yung salamin ninyo. After mo hawakan yung salamin ninyo, hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon nakikita mo yung fingerprint. We call that latent print. Pero kapag dinevelop na natin yon, kapag nilagyan na natin ng fingerprint powder, then doon mo palang makukuha or malilift yung fingerprint. Okay? Ganon din sa photography. Andun na yung image. Andun na sa film. Pero hindi mo pa siya makikita. Okay? We call that latent photographic image. So this becomes visible by chemical development. Ayun na nga. This image conforms to the shape of the object points in the subject according to the capability of the lens and film. So while at this point the light had done all that it has to do, however, it continues to penetrate the emulsion layers throughout whose depth lie suspended millions of other light-sensitive halide crystals. Basta, ang sinasabi lang dyan is that you can only see the negative. You will only be able to see the negative when the latent or when the film has already been developed. Okay. Pag na-develop mo na siya, hindi na siya latent photographic image kasi nga nakikita mo na siya. Okay. Latent photographic image lang siya kapag nandun pa siya sa film at yung film hindi mo pa na-develop. So as the ray moves, light ray, ang tinutukoy dyan, moves deeper and deeper into the emulsion, it moves farther and farther away from its original point of entry into the emulsion, and parts are scattered off in every direction. During this travel, it has struck and therefore made developable many more light-sensitive crystals than it originally affected to form the latent image at the surface of the emulsion. Finally, it bumps into the anti-halation backing and is absorbed. Kung maalala ninyo yung parts ng ating film, di ba merong top coating, tapos yung emulsion layer, tapos yung base, and then the anti-halation backing. Ang sinasabi lang dyan, kapag ang film ay na-expose, syempre, tatagos siya dun sa top coating, tatagos siya dun sa emulsion, tatagos siya dun sa base, hanggang sa tatama na siya dito sa anti-halation backing. Yun ang paraan kung paano na-expose ang ating film. Okay, what are the factors that affect exposure? We have lighting condition, kung bright sunlight ba siya, hazy sunlight, or dull sunlight. Kaya, kailangan aware ka nga sa surroundings mo para ma-adjust mo ng tama yung aperture settings mo and your shutter speed. Ayun, binanggit ko na pala. Your lens opening or aperture, your shutter speed, and of course, your film. Dahil madaming uri ang film. Diba, merong slow film, merong fast film, and so on. Okay. So, factors that affect exposure, yung nabanggit na isa is lens opening or apertures. These are indicated as F numbers or F stops. F expresses the ratio of any aperture diameter to the focal length of the given lens. These are easily remembered by doubling them alternately starting with 1 and 1.4 para mas madali ninyong matandaan. Times 2 lang lagi ito. Okay. Parang ito, di ba? 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Ganun din sa 1.4. 1.4 times 2 is 2.8. 2.8 times 2, 5.6. 5.6 times 2, 11. 11 times 2, 22. Yun na yun. Okay? And then, ito yung mga itsura nung aperture. I know you know this already, pero review na lang. Pag mas mababa ang setting, ibig sabihin, di ba, mas konti ang pagpigil. Kaya pag konti lang ang pagpigil, malaki siya. Malaki ang aperture setting mo. Pero kapag mas mataas ang number, ibig sabihin mas mataas o mas madami ang pagpigil. Kaya maliit na lang ang aperture setting mo. Okay. Lens speed is the smallest F of any given lens. Pag mas mababa, mas mabilis. Okay? It also indicates the capability of the lens to gather more light into low light conditions. Then we have shutter speed. So it is expressed as whole numbers in the shutter speed dial, but it is actually fractions of a second. Kaya nga, yung nabanggit natin kanina, hindi siya 1,000 second. 1/1,000 second siya. Hindi siya 8 seconds. 1/8. Ganun siya. Okay. So the unit of measure used for controlling the time light is allowed to enter the camera is seconds. Kaya, for example, yung 5,000 daw is actually 1/5,000 of a second. Kumbaga, yung 1 second, hinati natin sa 5,000. Okay, ganun siya. So, shutter speed, 1,000, ganito lang. length of time the shutter is open. Kung 60 naman, ibig sabihin 1 whole second, ganito siya ka-open, yung shutter mo. Okay. Slow shutter speeds are basically used for low light. Kasi nga, pag mabagal ang shutter speed, mas may panahon ang light na makapasok. Ginagawa mo lang yun kapag madilim. Kapag mabilis naman ang shutter speed, sobrang bilis, ibig sabihin, ginagamit mo yun kapag maliwanag na, kapag konting light na lang yung kailangan mo. You have to control both shutter speed and lens opening to achieve correct exposure. Okay. We have the reciprocity law. This states that to get a certain amount of exposure on film, no particular amount of light and no particular length of time is required. The requirement is that the amount of light is multiplied by the length of time must equal the desired exposure. So, yun na nga. Ito na yung nabanggit natin kanina, di ba? Illumination multiplied by time is equals to exposure. Pero hindi ko naman nga pasasagot yun sa inyo. So, other methods in achieving correct exposure. We have exposure meters. Yun na yung magme-measure kung ano yung tamang exposure para doon sa area kung saan ka kumukuha ng image. Bracketing or trial and error. And instructions found at the film packaging. Kasi doon sa karton ng film, ilalagay din niya yung suggested exposures for you to be able to get the best image in certain areas. Okay, ito yon, yung exposure meter. An instrument for measuring light intensity and determining the correct exposure. This contains light-sensitive cells that cover the light falling on them into an electrical current. So, i-adjust mo yan. So, kung gagawin mo siyang -2, mas didilim ang image. Ibig sabihin, pwede ba yung gamitin kapag sobrang maliwanag? Para tumama ang exposure, kailangan mong babaan. Ilalagay mo siya dito. Pero kung madilim naman ang area, kailangan mong gawing mas maliwanag yung nasa camera mo, di ba? Kaya tataasan mo siya. Ilalagay mo siya dito. Okay. So using exposure meters, we have 3 types of exposure meters. We have reflected light readings, incident light readings, and spot metering. So when you say reflected, ito yung light na pinatalbog. Di ba? Nag-reflect nga eh. Measure the light coming off the subject. Ibig sabihin, kung ito yung subject, yung liwanag na nanggagaling sa kanya, na tumatalbog mula sa kanya, yun yung reflected light readings. Pag sinabi naman natin incident light readings, this measures the light falling on the subject. Kung ano yung light na napupunta doon sa subject. Magkaiba yun sa reflected kasi sa incident, yung light pumupunta sa subject. Sa reflected, yung reflected light ay yung light na galing na sa subject tas pinatalbog niya. That's reflection. Okay. And then we have spot metering. Basically the same as reflected light meters but they measure light from a very selective area. Kaya nga siya spot metering. May certain spot lang na sinusukat yung reflection. Okay. So reflected light pa rin siya pero hindi yung kabuuhan ng image. Parte lang ng image. That is spot metering. Okay. Then we also have through the lens metering or TTL. Most cameras are now built with integral light metering systems. The system used in most 35mm SLR cameras is through the lens metering. The cells controls the shutter speeds or lens apertures. So types of TTL metering systems. We have averaging meters, center-weighted meters, and spot metering. When we say averaging meters, these are most sensitive at the center of the screen, but they nevertheless give an integrated reading over the entire picture area. Kaya nga siya average. Ibig sabihin, sinusukat niya yung kabuuhan ng image. Tapos, yung nasa gitna na sukat niya, na determine niyang sukat, will be the exposure setting. Ito yon. Ito yung first one. Sorry. Ito pala yun. Okay, ito pala yun. Center-weighted meters. These have concentrated sensitivity at or near the center. But they take some account of the rest of the picture area. So, yun nasa gitna lang siya. Okay. Then, spot metering are limited to a small area. Yun ang nabanggit natin kanina. May certain part lang sa image na kinukuhanan niya, na nire-record niya. Okay? Accessories ng camera. We have flash units. Although sa ibang cameras, automatic na siyang naka-include na siya. Yung mga lumang camera kasi, di ba, separate unit siya. Tapos isasaksak mo siya doon sa camera. But now, yung mismong camera, may flash unit na. Flash units are source of additional illumination in low lighting conditions. So, yun na nga, pandagdag ng liwanag sa mga lugar na madidilim. But, a camera would still work kahit walang flash. Kaya siya considered accessory lang din. Okay? Isa pang accessory is yung filters. Hindi yung filter na pang TikTok or Instagram, no? Hindi yun. Filters, these are transparent material, usually colored, made of glass or gelatin, fitted to a lens to alter the characteristics of light passing through it. Lens, nilalagay sa harap ng, yung filter nilalagay sa harap ng lens para, sabi nga dyan, to alter the characteristics of light passing through it. Kung UV filter yan, aalisin niya lahat ng UV doon sa image. Kung, ano pa ba yung iba? Color compensating filter, yung mga yan. Haze filter, madami kasing uri. And may separate discussion tayo for filters. So, yan. For flash units, there are 3 general types of artificial lighting used in photography. We have bulb type flash, electronic flash, and continuous light sources such as lamps. Or ito, fluorescent light. That's continuous light source. Then types of flash units, we have manual or non-electronic flash units. We have thyristor flash units, and we have dedicated thyristor flash units. Okay, what are the variables that will affect the choice of exposure settings with flash? So, flash to subject distance. Kapag ang subject mo ay malapit lang sa camera lens, tas gumamit ka ng flash, ang tendency kasi magbabounce ang light, kumbaga mas extreme ang pag-bounce ng light, ang pag-reflect ng light. Kaya ang mangyayari, babalik lang yung light, magiging overexposed yung image mo. So, yan. Then, output of the flash unit, depende sa uri ng flash na meron ka at kung ano yung output na meron siya. Then, type of reflector on the flash, speed of the film in use, reflectance of the surrounding areas. Siyempre, i-check mo din kung ano yung mga bagay kung saan nagre-reflect yung light. Sabihin, yung mga bagay na nandun sa room, i-check mo din yun. And then, the shutter speed possible. Then we have synchronization speed. It is the fastest shutter speed that can be used with an electronic flash. Kaya nga siya, synchronization speed, para synchronize yung flash at yung shutter speed mo. Kasi kung hindi sila synchronized, hindi magiging maganda yung quality ng image. Kaya it is the fastest shutter speed na pwede mong gamitin na akma doon sa electronic flash mo. Okay. So, when to use flash fill? Kailan ka gagamit ng flash? So, in scenes illuminated by bright sunlight, there will usually be dark shadow areas. So, detail in the deep shadow areas will be lost when the exposure is based on the overall brightness of the scene. With the use of the flash fill, the brightness level in the shadow areas can be raised to the overall brightness of the scene. So, when the area you are taking a picture of is bright sunlight, pwede kang gumamit ng flash. Okay? Baka na-confuse kayo doon. Ulit, kapag maliwanag, pwede kang gumamit ng flash. Bakit ka mo? Kasi may mga dark shadow areas. If you can remember, pag bright sunlight, di ba, ang description ng shadow is that it is strong or dark ang shadows niya. Kung dark ang shadows, lahat ng natakpan ng shadow ay hindi mo masyadong makikita kasi nga madilim. Pero kung gagamit ka ng flash, magiging maliwanag ito. Okay, I'll show you an example.